Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7...
Соскучил? Да, устал. Я хочу отдохнуть в игре. Ой. Грань только что взял последний ранг. Ну, поздравляю его. Офигеть, сколько кроликов, кстати. У меня ранг сейчас 11 примерно.
Who's there? Hey, what are you up to? Hey, who's there?
What's going on there? Who's...
Ой, не то.
I'm over here!
Офигеть, он жесткий. Чего? Не понял. Чем меня ушатывает?
Buggerings. Bollocks!
Летучий.
Greetings, my good man. May I ask you a question?
Ask first, then I'll ask you something.
Really? Good then. We're looking for Ginger, a stable boy at a nearby stud farm. Have you seen him anywhere?
I don't know anyone called that. I'm not even from this part of the country.
What a shame. We're worried about him, but we can't seem to find him.
Truly, I haven't seen him. If I were you, I'd ask the charcoal burners.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for your advice.
Can I do anything to help? What's the matter with you?
Меня вот интересует, а если эти двое не знают, где рыжий, то где он? Это же те самые разбойники, да, о которых вы говорили? Lonely Soul. Только что собирался с одним... Я нашел 2 бандитов вот этих вот тут. Какой-то лагерь. Но у них нету никакого рыжего парня. А я не могу ничего такого лечащего себе приготовить прям вот с лету так. Я что-то не понял, я нашел бандитов, но у них нету рыжего никакого. Что мне можно делать тогда?
Who's there? What's that? Can I do anything to help?
Как он меня слышит? Я к спящему подкрадываюсь. Ничего полезного вообще. Пришел лайк, поставил, пойду поиграю на арте. Да. Так, ну... Знаете что? Я хочу оленя грохнуть. Это у меня так слышишь, ты не понял? Не понял. Вы это тоже видите? Или это только мне кажется? Вы это видели? Что только что происходило? Он увернулся от 3 или 4 стрел.
Просто. Cool.
Бимби, привет. Спасибо тебе. Вы это видели? Что этот олень сделал?
Pont amikor kedvem lenne valakiből kiverni a lelket.
Что? Там что-то происходит? А я голенький. Кто с кем дерется, я не понял. Кто хороший, кто плохой? Это разбойники. Это так глупо выглядит. Я отошел со спины разбойника, украл у него стрелу и убежал. О, так стрелять можно? Все, я монгол. Но стрелять можно только перед собой. Ну давай, ну. Привет, Вадим Дятлов.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I've taken care of those two cutthroats.
You don't look like you've been in a fight.
If you don't believe me, go and see for yourself.
All right, all right. All that matters is they've been taken care of.
They're dead. So, what was it you wanted to tell me?
Ginger was here, but the lads hid him away somewhere. I suppose there's no need for that anymore. He's in no danger now, is he? And nor are we.
That's right. You're safe now.
All right. They're hiding him nearby. A little way along the route to Uzhitz, there's a path to the right leading to a spring. From there, you'll find an overgrown trail to a ruined hut.
Finally, some useful information. Thank you, charcoal burner.
А тут негде помыться случайно? Это мне так далеко скакать? А, вот. Давай, лошадка. Одна лошадиная сила. До какого ранга добрался? До 11. Меня там очень много убивали свои, поэтому сложно пройти дальше.
Jesus, you've led me a merry dance.
What do you want from me?
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why did you run off like that? Where are your cronies? And why did you kill that bandit?
What?
Right, one thing at a time. Why did you run off in such a hurry?
Because I was afraid they'd come back and kill me.
Who?
Those bandits, of course.
Растриму его
To
на
get
конях.
revenge on you for killing their mate.
Killing? Me? I never killed anyone. God is my witness.
I'm looking for your friends. Where are they?
The charcoal burners? They're over at the...
To hell with the charcoal burners. Where are your bandit mates?
They're not my mates. They nearly killed me. I recognized one of them, so I thought they'd come back and...
Recognized? Who was it? Talk!
I don't know his name, only that he's from Uzhitz and he has a limp.
What can you tell me about him? How do you know him?
I saw him a few times in the tavern in Uzhitz, playing dice and boozing.
And?
I know he lives in a house on the edge of the village, but that's all I know. I never talked to him.
Где мои печеньки? Штуки остались.
Why did you kill that bandit?
What? Bandit? I never killed anyone.
This is yours, isn't it? I pulled it from the belly of a dead bandit near the stud farm.
That is mine, but I didn't stab him. That fellow took it from me.
What fellow?
I don't know his name, but he's from Uzhitz and he has a limp.
He limps and he's from Uzhitz. That's not much to go on, but I suppose it'll have to do.
It's all I know. I never talked to him.
And now tell me exactly what happened. And don't leave anything out.
That's quite a long story.
Don't worry, I won't get bored.
All right. I woke up in the middle of the night because I needed to go for a piss.
Хорошего стрима.
So I went out into the dark, same as usual.
Спасибо большое, Декартель.
Only there was something there that shouldn't have been. At first I thought it was just a trick of the light, but it wasn't. Then it was too late. They went past and I thought they must be horse thieves. I would have yelled, only I was afraid they'd kill me. So I waited until they were out of sight and I started to sneak away. But then...
Then the slaughtering started.
Yes. I thought they'd steal the horses and ride off. That would be bad enough. But then all the killing started and
Габар, ты
flames
можешь их слушать, они
everywhere.
вслух говорят диалоги.
It was terrible, like hell itself.
And then?
It seemed some of them didn't like it either. They started squabbling among themselves, and some of them started running back where they came from, right towards me. and I had that thing in my hand, the hoof pick.
So you stabbed the first one in the belly?
No. He ran right into me. He was running fast for a fellow with a limp. He pushed me aside and I fell on the ground. Then he told me I'd better lie low if I valued my life. And he ran off with the others. And I did what he said and hid. Then the rest of the gang ran past.
And then?
Then I waited in case that limping one from Ujits came back. I didn't dare come out until I was sure. I think it was almost light.
What about the others? Was there anything you noticed about them?
I don't know. There might have been maybe 8 of them, and 2 of them were really big. That's all I can remember.
Do you know what they argued about?
I didn't hear everything, but I reckon some of them were only there to steal and wanted no part in the killing.
That sounds terrible. I know exactly how you feel.
If only I yelled. Maybe they...
If you had, you'd most likely be dead. It probably wouldn't have done any good anyway.
But still...
There was nothing you could do. That's all. I've heard everything I need to hear, so I'll leave you be.
Wait! What about me? Won't you help me out?
Perhaps I could. What would you like?
I'd like to go back to the stud farm, but those cutthroats who want to kill me are still around. Will you help me?
They're out of the way. I ran into them on my travels.
Really? That's great, but...
What?
I'm afraid to go back to the farm. I ran away, and God knows what they'll think about it all. I don't know if they'll even want to talk to me.
Just try, and you'll see whether they drive you away or not. But if you explain it to them, they're sure to understand.
I suppose you're right. Thank you for your help, and God bless you. What is it?
Блин, меня разбойники сейчас не кокнут по пути? Вроде нет, отлично.
What is it?
It's just that you look like someone who doesn't mind a bit of adventure. And I could use a man like that. It's like this. I know of the whereabouts of some treasure. Well, treasure is a lofty word. Simply hidden valuables. And this information I can share with you for a certain price.
Sounds a little fishy to me. How do you know about it?
Well, it's a bit of a long story. My sister married a fellow from Colin, and he was a knacker, so there was hell to pay. Anyway, this fellow's sister... No, wait. That's not it. He was from Cuttenberg, not Colin. And he wasn't a knacker, but a bathhouse attendant.
All right. I don't need to hear your family's entire history. I don't get it. Why don't you just get the treasure for yourself?
That's easy to say. Only it's sure to be buried in some remote place. And the whole countryside is crawling with bandits and all sorts of vermin. I'd rather sell it to you for a few groschen than risk my neck.
I've no time for such tall tales.
Tall tales? Ha! Go to hell then, doubting Thomas.
Знаете что? Там же игра сохранилась, да? И тут травка повыше. А где карта? У нее карты не было, он меня пытался обмануть. Поскакали дальше. С мечом такой наперевес. Убийца, я его не убил, я его оглушил. Он проснется потом. Но только если куплю.
Well, well. Look who deigns to grace us with his presence.
I was looking for that boy and...
And you didn't bother telling anyone.
I had to follow the trail before it went cold.
And what if some bandit skewered you and left you for dead? We'd never find you because you told no one where you were going. How would I explain that to Sir Radzig, eh? I really don't know, my lord. He disappeared without saying a word to anyone. Never crossed my mind he wanted to get himself killed.
I...
Silence! Keep your ignorant mouth shut when I'm giving you the benefit of a veteran's wisdom. You do what I tell you, answer only when I ask, and not go roaming off whenever you feel like it. I'd like to kick your arse back to the castle and be shut of you. But it's true, you're a fucking peasant who knows nothing about soldiering, and it's my job to whip you into shape, so I'm not done with you yet. God have mercy on you if you ever try anything like that again. If you're lucky, I'll only have you whipped and clapped in the stocks, because if I get my way, you'll be hanged for desertion. I hope we've got that out of the way, and I've made myself absolutely clear. And now, let's hear what you have to report.
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it, then.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right. Since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around in Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway. Sir Radzig will tell you about it.
Я не знаю,
He
с
said
каких
to
стрим
send you
будет,
to
просто
him if you
играю
haven't
как
already
обычно.
been.
I've taken care of the camp.
Where's the proof?
Here it is.
Good work.
40 groszy.
I've had another report. Some folk were ambushed to the west of Ratai, on the hill across the river from the gallows. It would be worthwhile to check it out.
All right, I'll take a look around. I have some trophies.
Let's see. Bastards deserved it.
времени уже появилось свободно, значит, можно пойти и сбыть все, что я хочу, да? Это он, да?
Hey, Henry's come to see us. God bless you. What troubles you?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bern had already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story, or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
One of the Neuhoff stable boys, a lad they called Ginger, fled from there and hid out with some charcoal burners. I have to say, there's a lot of them around. I never thought how many forges and ironworks they have to supply.
That's true, but keep to the point.
Oh, yes, sir. I had quite a job finding him. He was well hidden and with good reason. The bandits wanted to kill him because he recognised one of them.
Did he tell you what happened?
He said it wasn't one gang, but two. And one of them took fright when the slaughter started. Seems they were only interested in loot, so they quarrelled with the other lot. Then it came to a skirmish in the woods and one of them was killed. The rest of them scattered.
And did you find out where they went?
Это читал фильм «Триллион». Нет, Дмитрий Козлов я не читал.
All right, but those cutthroats must know who he is too, right? And if they want to get revenge on him or silence him, you'd better hope they don't get to him before you. So drop everything and get on his trail. Find out what he knows and then report back to me. I'm going to our encampment at Merhayed to oversee the security of the region.
Yes, sir. Why choose Merhayed?
It's somewhat at the centre of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
I have some news about the investigation, sir.
Good. Tell me.
The trail leads to Uzhitz. I found out one of the bandits is from there, a fellow they call Limpy Lubosh.
I see. What else?
That's all I found out so far, sir.
All right. Come back and report to me as soon as you learn anything new.
Офигеть. Блин, мне так нравится на лошади скакать, если честно. В этой игре. Черт знает почему. Просто вот это все от первого лица, это очень круто. Ту 160 я так и делал. Я собирал траву вне стрима. Я довольно редко собираю сейчас на стриме траву, только если какую-то совсем я увижу. Там месторождение и так далее. А мне очень нравится лошадь, мне нравится не скакать. Чё? Чё это за забор вообще? Что это? А, это пугало. У меня игру с данной... Чего? На Твиче игра изменена. Не надо мне тут дезинформацию давать. Не знаю, что мне просто нравится скакать на этой лошади, она такая прикольная. Вообще вот этот весь процесс.
Let's talk about the price.
Why not?
Привет, Александр.
Are we agreed?
Close. Drop the price a bit more and we'll shake on it. See now, I knew we'd come to an agreement.
А здесь есть какой-нибудь бронник или что-то в этом духе? Походу нету. Надо ехать в этот замок. Пока, Паскуч. Да, это бесполезно, я заметил. У меня по дворам примерно так же машинка такой же скоростью ездит.
God be with you, Henry. Good God, you look terrible. Did someone attack you?
Давай, пожалуй, сначала помоюсь, да, наверное?
God save you, Henry.
О, портной. Ну, 160, сейчас я поторгую и прошу у тебя кое-что. Так, немножко неправильно, нужно... Давайте отсортируем по весу. Продадим самое тяжелое. Что-то я слишком перестарался. А, кожаные перчатки слишком дорогие, да?
Let's talk about the price.
All right, so. See now, I knew we'd come to an agreement.
А когда у торговца появятся деньги? Интересно. А где еще один купец, кстати? Странно. А, они закрылись уже все, да? Короче, Антон. Антон, 160. Вопрос. Про обучение ты говорил, то, что на каждой ступени по разу. То есть имеется 5, 10, 15, 20 вот эти ступени, да, ты имеешь в виду? Она намного апается при платном обучении скилл? А, дальше ищи другого броника. Ну, я могу и вручную прокачать сам себя, да? Просто делая эти действия.
Be a bit more careful.
Спать до утра, потом пойти к торговцам, продать все, что я там награбил. Не могу больше спать. Давайте тогда забежим к этой... К соседке, которая... Покупает краденое. Она же где-то в той стороне, да? Прокачать наборами кузнеца портного. Ту 160 я вручную хочу качать. Блин, она же перестала, да, торговать? Мне нужно починить броню, все это оружие. Броня чинится наборами. Ну ладно. Но вообще я довольно большим количеством денег разжился. У меня почти 500 грошей. Точнее, 600 уже на руках. То есть этого достаточно. Что меня моя броня, в принципе, устраивает более-менее. То есть лучше я ничего не находил. Мне надо просто теперь починить. Оружие я вроде сам заточил, сам себе. Плюс-минус у меня получается. Но, видимо, не очень хорошо получается, потому что я не очень себе прокачал. Я просидел минуты 5, наверное, за этим камнем точильным, и у меня все на 10% получилось. Но это значит, что неправильно делаю. Маш, стакан, спи спокойно. Вообще, если серьезно, то надо будет как-то заняться алкоголизмом в этой игре. Бедная лошадь стоит здесь. Ну, хоть в игре набухаюсь.
Hey, Henry's come to see us.
God save you. What can I do for you? No, no. That looks like stolen goods. I won't buy that.
Я не хочу, чтобы ты это покупал. Кстати, закончить разговор, надо кое-что сделать.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Naturally.
What do you say to this?
Good day, Henry.
We're getting there. Just drop the price a bit more.
What do you say to this?
Close. Drop the price a bit more and we'll shake on it.
Серьезно.
I knew we'd come to an arrangement.
Нет, тут 160, я не хочу таким пользоваться.
God be with you, Henry.
I'll be with you, Henry.
А где искры? Что-то какой-то неправильный камень точильный. Потом у меня были искры нормально видны. А здесь плохо. Ну, я, кстати, продлил его состояние, он нормальный стал. Он был 80.
Come on up and see.
How's it going?
Can we do something about the price?
Sure, why not?
Satisfied?
I'd almost shake on that. Almost. Aye, that would do it.
I could die of shame to be reduced to begging. But what am I to do, good folk? Skalitz lies in ruins.
God bless. Can I help you?
О, деньги появились у парня. Наручи мне нужны для стрельбы. Что-то я много накидал, а что идет?
Can we do something about the price?
Aye. Aye, for that amount I can be persuaded.
Welcome, Henry.
Так, сколько у меня бабок? 1,1К, вот это круто. А еще торговцы есть? Походу нет, да? Шалф я ставлю для обаяния. А как мне починить другую броню? Вот, допустим, вот у меня броня 52. Ее же можно починить, не? Just 8, нормально.
What do you need?
Have you heard anything?
Terrible things. Horrible. I hear...
Garlic, onions, mushrooms, and asparagus. From right up.
Welcome, Henry! Good health to you.
О! Сколько мне это будет? А скилл прокачается от этого Ту-160, скажи? Какой ранг взял сегодня? 11-й. Я от этого стану скилловей? Нет. Но мне все это нужно. Это все мои броня. Поэтому я это
Let's talk about the price.
Мне не сложно.
Why not?
Agree?
That's not enough.
Are we agreed?
How are you, Henry?
Well, a little more, and we'll call it a deal.
Ой, какой ты мерзкий, фу.
I'll go for that.
Блин, эти щиты, конечно, интересно.
Hey, Henry.
Henry's come to see us.
Vegetables, fruits, apples, cucumbers,
Привет, Шарик.
come get 'em.
Так, чем можно еще заняться? Портной, лаборатория алхимии. Там какой-то квест для меня есть или что?
How are you, Henry? God be with you.
О, насчет
About
долга.
that debt. Here you are.
Thank you. I'm glad to see you're a man of honour. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Isn't that quite a lot?
Is this enough?
Well, a little more and we'll call it a deal. Agreed. Now listen up.
Занятие алхимией. Пошли теперь. Здесь где-то алхимический стол был, вот. Помощь. Который превращает травы и другие ингредиенты в лекарства. Чтобы сварить, нам нужно познать в алхимии рецепт. Необходимый компонент. В алхимической лаборатории. На первом шаге всегда наливают основу снадобья. Я отсюда ничего не вижу. Читать. Я читать не умею. Я читать не умею. Ой, мне нужен чел, который научит меня... Блять.
Can we do something about the price?
Alright, so? Aye, that would do it.
God be with you, Henry.
О. Можно ли меч второй оружие в руке? Я точно знаю, что щит можно использовать плюс меч. Второе оружие не в курсе. Я просто, Артем, только начал играть. Ну, у меня персонаж новый. Я уверен, что здесь можно что-то такое делать по-любому. Просто мой персонаж не очень хорошо развит пока что. Так, ну... Неужели сюда скакать придется? Секунду, где мне там обещали научить ужиться? О, так это по пути.
Kettles for water, baskets for goods, and torches for the night. I have it all. Let's go.
Скакали. Лошадь устала. Я читаю чат. Будь поактивно играя осознанно от тебя. Так я актив. В смысле, я продаю, учусь всему. Чё ты? Вообще, это немножко не та игра, где... Это не Skyrim, где ты можешь пойти и просто начать всех мочить. Здесь такое не работает. Здесь все противники довольно сильные. Сколько лошадь по относимому весу? По-моему, 170 килограмм она носит. Себе. Расскажи о том, как корм попал. Ну, меня знали по первому корму и позвали второй. Вся история. Довольно скучно. Я вообще открою секрет в корм. Во второй попадает только по приглашению. Если вас позвали, вы попадете. Не позвали, пойдете. Честно, меня твой ник взрыв мозга очень настораживает, поэтому я не дам тебе модруку. Да и вообще, я все модеры на канал добавляю людей, которые, ну, модерируют каналы у других людей в основном. В основном так. Первый попал, когда вышел с наркомании. Вышел с наркомании, пошел в первый корм. Все, меня позвал сервер. Я сказал, окей, давай пойду в корм ваш. Поговорил с левшей минуту, и меня взяли, все. Он не выглядит разбойником. На этом этапе он выйдет у нас как грош и топовый шмот.
I'd like to challenge you to a duel, sir. A little amicable combat.
Я боюсь его, у него намного лучше.
Sorry, I don't have time for it.
No matter. My apologies for keeping you. Godspeed.
Он намного круче выглядит. Не-не-не. Будешь Ведьмака играть? Нет, не буду. Я знаю, что это хорошая игра, но мне нет на нее времени. Я не чувствую, что я этого рыцаря смогу победить. Какой город большой, офигеть. Нет, третьего лица нет вида. Он и не нужен. Я вообще шел к писарю, а не к разбойнику.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
If that's what you call nothing to see, I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
Взрыв мозга, я же тебе сказал.
No bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Нормально.
Sakra. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Я пришел к писарю, а не к хромому Любушу.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
An inscription in blood. It's a pity I don't know how to read. Looks like they wanted to give someone a warning. But who? And a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
А, так вот и писец.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much, but I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Знаешь ли такую стримершу ботан, как Исми? Да, знаю.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
That's all. Thank you.
I'd like to learn to read.
You? You don't look like the makings of a priest or clerk. But why not? I've taught all sorts. Bear in mind, it won't be all that easy. You'll need plenty of time and a few groschen for my trouble.
All right. I don't want to waste time. We can get started.
Военные пистолетская груша, бомба, доспехи.
Very well.
17 слепаков, я тебе открою секрет. Я в эту игру намного меньше, чем выиграю.
And set aside at least a couple of days so I can put you through your paces. If indeed time is of the essence.
Here are your groschen.
Then we may as well start.
Вообще это не имеет значения абсолютно никакое.
He did break his vow, but better than to dishonor it here. May he follow his heart. Wake up, lad. It's time we were getting on. So, let's see you read a bit.
Задача прочти книгу? Как-то раз, подойдя к гнезду своей гусыни,
There's a book here on the table. Try to read it.
Will I manage?
You ought to be able to. It's a simple text. Come back once you've worked your way through it.
Давай прочитаем ее по-бырому. Как-то, подойдя к гнезду своей гусыни, крестьянин обнаружил там яйцо желтое и сверкающее. Когда он его поднял, яйцо оказалось тяжелым, словно медь, и крестьянин решил было его выбросить, подумав, что его кто-то разыграл. Однако, поразмыслив, он взял его домой и вскоре при великой радости обнаружил, что яйцо сделано из чистого золота. Каждое утро повторялось то же самое, и вскоре разбогател на продажу золотых яиц. И чем богаче становился, тем сильнее мучила его жадность. Решила забрать разом все золото, которое могла обрести в гусыню, он бил и распотрошил, однако внутри ничего не было. Он, наверное, сейчас вопросы задаст по чтению, да?
I've read the book.
Wonderful. So tell me, what did you
Я
learn?
так и знал.
There was something about some fellow and a goose.
Ah, well, the main thing is you've managed to read the book. The rest, like I told you, books are valuable.
Does that mean that I can read then?
Yes, you have the foundation. Remember, my boy, the pen is mightier than the sword. Now we'll move on to the second lesson, which will be much harder. Many books are written in Latin, the language of erudition. There's a book on the table with some text. Read it and then come back. You need not understand it.
I only just managed the fable about the goose, and now you're asking me to tackle Latin.
You're a clever lad. You'll manage.
Ansu est albiritam also on not elque prosit оратор. Оратор — это оратор, вербис — это слово, плумеридик. Там что-то говорит о слове. Сейчас он что-то спросит, может?
I read the page.
So tell me, Distrupule, what's written there?
Nullus est liber tam malus, ut non alique parte prosit.
Good heavens! Don't tell me you haven't had lessons before. Excellent. Well, there's nothing more I can teach you. Congratulations. You can go and be ordained right away.
Thank you, Domine. I'm feeling a lot wiser.
почему игноришь вопрос о Мерсе? Я что играл. Короче, по поводу Мерка все очень грустно. Когда-то это был клан, в который вступали только люди с определенными моральными принципами и хорошей игрой. То есть они там любили мамок в рандоме лег, унижали их и так далее. При этом держали очень хороший средний урон. Был у них товарищ Гробовщик, все это заправлял. Гробовщика закрыла ВГ. Канал ему за пропаганду... Не за пропаганду, а за то, что он плохо отзывался об игре. Они его закрыли. Он потихонечку ушел в тень. Появился Linux. Отдали Linux командование. О, господи, вы что там, вообще, что ли? С ума посходили? Слава актеру. Слава. Только я на арте сейчас не играю, вы не вовремя пришли. Там сейчас модер вилкой почистить. Передали Linux командование. Он кэпил. Черт знает, что там с Linux произошло, почему он дал команду. Сейчас кэпит. Гвардиан. И все. Навык чтения. Так, где там этот место, где мужика убили? Вот оно. А что там в комнате это? Модер поставил... Надя поставил этот, как там? Только подписчиков? Это Тиф? Это плохой парень. Душа говорил, что хочет играть в Мерк? Нет, это неправда. Обобрать. О, отмычки, это кайф.
You showed him. And did you get the loot back?
No, he had nothing on him.
Nothing? How come?
Do I look like someone you can make accusations against?
I didn't mean it like that at all. My apologies. And just so you know, I'm no pinch purse. Here's a small reward.
Thanks.
2 гроши.
Be a bit more careful.
Someone there?
Лошадь. Гробовщик, ученик Корбана. Ты больной, что ли, Энди Ку? Ученик Корбана. Гробовщик взял Корбана в клан. Как он может быть его учеником, если он его в клан взял? Найс рофлы. Вы гробовщику вообще обязаны тем, что видите Корбана сейчас в игре. Так, ему этот вопрос задали после битвы доделов. Короче, по поводу мерков. Блин, что-то я не туда помню, да? Сюда. Надо было... Слишком сильно спустился. Короче, Левша сказал, что он не прочь поиграть против мерков, но проблема в том, что мерки сами по себе, ну... Была бы у них рота какая-то стабильная, у них нет. Блин, тупой артовод, я теперь не могу вспомнить, где произошло это все. Где убийство произошло? Я хочу прочитать, что там было написано. Здесь все улицы одинаковые, блин.
Be a bit more.
Корбан учил его играть. Ты парень отбитый.
My respects to you.
Когда гробовщик видосы снимал, Корбан еще в игру, наверное, играл. Он только еду покупает, да? Вот я прискакал вот так. Я либо сюда забежал, либо сюда. То есть я головой ударился, что ли? Офигеть. Так можно здесь?
What was that noise?
Где убийство произошло, я так и не понял.
What's it about?
Нифига не понимаю.
God be with you.
I'd like to discuss the price.
All right, sir.
Since it's you.
That's better. Drop it a bit more and we'll call it a deal. Aye. For that amount I can be persuaded.
По-моему, это место.
Judas. Looks like this is meant to be a warning. But for who? And why? Maybe the gang had a falling out. But a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
Котелок. Иуда это предатель, да?
A bed. A bed.
Может, просто всех людей опрашивать подряд. Мужик без штанов. А, это штаны такие?
My respects to you, sir.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fella like you?
That man Lubosh.
He was a strange one. Always drinking, bad-tempered.
Have you noticed anything
I didn't see much of him lately. Not even in the tap.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhoff was raped?
I don't think he was home at all. Wait.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to...
I really don't know. As far as I know, he had no kin. I never saw him with anyone.
That's all. Thank you.
Провести стрим с зрителями? Нет, не думал. Впечатлительный через А пишется. Это что такое?
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son. And one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequences would be even worse than that.
Worse than the death of innocent Christians? Worse than the murderer escaping punishment?
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the... If I don't find out who it was...
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Suppose we talk it over in the evening.
All right.
Обаяние попробуем.
Have you thought of a way...
Let's leave it for the...
Do you have any work that needs...
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
Чего? Ведьмой.
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Uzhet's women to witchery.
A little bird told you, did it?
You know how good people are at seeing the splinter in another's eye and not the beam in their own.
In other words, someone's been gossiping. And what's the problem?
As long as herb women stick to giving psychic to folk and bloated cows, assisting in childbirth, or burning incense in bedrooms to help with sleep, then nothing at all. But this is sacrilege, and it's unsafe. All sorts of molds and lichens and poisonous...
What do you want me to do?
I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make... If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some...
Consider it done.
Мне надо к ней сходить, заодно
And never fear. I'm a man who always pays his debts. You'll find Gertrude, the old herb woman, in the woods.
А, сквозь него только что пролетело? Опять? Только посмотрите на это. Стрел. Олень, кстати, очень тяжелый.
I've come in the name of Sahanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Ask all you want, lad.
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
Those that live by the sword die by the sword. I'm not surprised the end he came to.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Everything about him was suspicious. I always gave him a wide berth.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
How would I know?
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
I don't know, since I don't go to alehouses.
That's all. Thank you.
Would you teach me something about medicinal herbs?
Certainly.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Isn't that quite a lot?
Agreed. Now, listen up.
Приготовь вино, 2 горсти белодонны и 1 горсть крапивы. Нужна белодонна и крапива. Крапив в течение 2 оборотов. Включи белодонну, добавь белодонну и кипяти в течение 1 оборота. Оборота чего, простите? Ой, я не хочу сейчас про травы читать. Крапива и белодонна нужна.
Hey, a pickpocket.
Я мизкликнул. Она сейчас побежит туда теперь. Идиот. Тут ничего больше краденого нету. Квест пошел выполнять, называется. Ладно, короче, тогда скачу назад, пусть меня там арестуют. Да сколько там нас со священником встретиться? Вечером в корчме. Сколько сейчас время? 18 часов. Меня арестуют скоро, да?
What the hell are you doing?
Понял, все, ухожу.
Hey, watch it. What part didn't? Damn.
Понял, понял.
Hey, look out! Doesn't even know how to apologize.
What? What do
What
you
is
want
it?
here?
Не туда зашел, все. Здесь вход в эту корчму.
The best of women. God bless them.
Good day to you. What do you need?
Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Indeed, there is. Around here, you should hear about what Vashek the groom has been up to at the stables. When the head groom told the lads here, they fell off their seats laughing.
Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Nothing out of the order.
I've come in the name of Sahan.
I don't know nothing about it, but...
That man Lubosh.
I didn't really know him.
Have you noticed anything
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. I was wondering what he was up to.
Do you know what Lubosh...
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught he looked like he was in a hurry.
Do you know anyone...
Not with anyone from the village. He used to...
That's all. Thank you.
Pour me an ale.
What is it?
Где стражники? Пусть меня арестуют. Некоторые очень сложные знаки можно будет потом вскрывать.
blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad. Take a seat. I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was. But I really don't like to talk about it.
I understand. I'm sorry. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
Here you are.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened in Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhoff stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home.
Got it for you right here.
I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. The tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Да, точно, было
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth. and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs. While Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticises the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
I'd like a beer. Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
That sounds like a good plan.
Смотрю, вы тут со 160 угораете. Вы просили пьянку.
Enough of this! Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Плохая идея была.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Чего? Какая нахрен драка?
Come on
Серьезно?
Don't worry. We'll give you trouble. We'll just have a bit of a punch-up.
As you like, ruffian.
Get your pennant down. Here. Man of the cloth, I won't kick your arse.
Офигеть, он дерется нормально.
Hey, you think because I'm a man of the cloth, I won't kick your arse?
А?
So, my dear, wouldn't you like to have a little ring on the bell? No sooner said than done.
Я грабитель в этом городе. Я здесь нажрался.
Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dear. Careful.
Что происходит?
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
Что происходит?
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath.
And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Чекуан вовремя проснулся, да?
God, you old goat.
Come here. Oh.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own?
Надя, отвернись. О, Твич? Я в чат попал? Что происходит? А, опьянение, я понял.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh,
как же она орёт.
Fuck it out. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, Step on in my head. Oh, my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Wait, before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it?
Где я?
Mass. Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like to help you, but you can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Пьянство новый уровень.
Well, all right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Ну, да. Я не помню вчерашнюю проповедь эту, секунду.
Hey, watch it, lout.
Я не очень помню эту проповедь, то, что он читал.
I thought he'd never show up. The swill pole.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabilis a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Boy has a cheek.
Just as we are commanded to obey the priests in matters of virtue, so are we commanded to defy them face to face if they live contrary to God's commandments.
Hear that, Godwin?
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, cumens, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travellers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates. Away with them.
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows, and he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbour one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion?
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that was.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a silver tongue.
I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague. He told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Ладно, народ, сегодня все. Следующая серия будет либо завтра, послезавтра.
Jesus, look where you're going.
Давай, я пойду.
Lord Almighty!
Hey!